بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, Alhamdulillah, last week we started the chapter of Hajj, and this week we continue, Alhamdulillah. We are going to look at very briefly the arkan, the pillars of the Hajj and the Umrah, as well as the wajibat, those actions which are compulsory in the performance of the Hajj. This is a very beautiful timing as we look at the chapter of Hajj, because the Hajj, of course, will occur in the next few weeks. And so if we follow the movements, maybe we watch the posts of our brothers and sisters who are undertaking the Hajj, we can then appreciate the fiqh that they are practicing upon, inshallah. So we are looking at the Hajj and the Umrah, and the author says to us, وَأَرْكَانُ الْحَجِّ أَرْبَعَةٌ, that there are four pillars. Now we know that when there is something known as a rukun, a pillar of the arkan, it means that without that action, the entire ibadah does not exist. Meaning that you can't make up for it, you have to complete it. So the author says the arkan of Hajj are four. There are four pillars of the Hajj. Al-Ihram ma'an-niyya, wal-wuquf bi-Arafah, wal-tawaf bil-bayt, wal-sa'yu bayna al-Safa wal-Marwa. The author says that the four pillars is that you enter, firstly, pillar number one, you enter the state of ihram with a niyyah. So, very important point, the hujjaj, the mu'tamirin, they can't just put the towels on and have no niyyah. So it is ihram with niyyah. If you put the towels on, for the males now, you aren't automatically in the state of ihram. That's another important point. So when they put it on, it doesn't mean you're automatically in ihram and that you have to follow all the laws. It's ihram ma'an niyyah, with the niyyah. That's the first pillar. The second, al-wuquf bi Arafah. If a hajj does not even get lahda, a moment on Arafah, then there is no hajj for that individual. Therefore, it's very important that the hujjaj even get a moment. The third one, wat tawaf bil bayt. The tawaf, the circumambulation of the Kaaba 7 times. The tawaf. And then the fourth pillar is the sa'yu, the sa'i bayna Safa wal Marwa, the walking between Safa and Marwa. And this, of course, is in reference to what we call, when you study Hajj, the sa'yu al-ifada. That is, with your Hajj, you will have 2 tawafs in reality. The tawaf of ifada, and you're going to have when you leave Mecca, what tawaf? MashaAllah. The hujjaj, let me test your knowledge. MashaAllah, excellent. The hujjaj know their fiqh. The tawaf of wida. That tawaf is wajib. Okay, so it's not a rukun, but it is of the wajibat. Now we go into, and just as a point, the author, the scholars also indicate that a fifth pillar that should rightfully be there is the shaving or trimming of the hair. The ulama have written that even though the Shaykh hasn't mentioned the shaving of the hair as a rukun, they feel it is on that level, that there must be the shaving or the trimming of the hair during the period of Hajj, of course. Now the arkan, the pillars of the Umrah are also 4. So it's easy to remember. 4 for Hajj and 4 for Umrah. What are the pillars of the Umrah? وَأَرْكَانُ الْعُمْرَةِ أَرْبَعَةٌ. The pillars of the Umrah, of the lesser pilgrimage, are 4. Al-Ihram, wal-Tawaf, wal-Sa'yu, wal-Halq, or al-Taqsir fi ahdi al-qawlayn. There are 4 pillars. The first one, Ihram with niyyah. Right? Secondly, Tawaf, circumambulation of the Kaaba 7 times. Thirdly, walking or the sa'i bayna Safa wal Marwa. And the fourth one is the shaving or the trimming of the hair. So here we see with the arkan, the pillars of the Umrah, you need to meet these 4. So for anyone intending to go on Umrah, and you ask, is it a lot that you need to do? Not that much. The other four pillars, which essentially is the Umrah: Ihram, Tawaf, Sa'i, and shave your head or trim your head. Those are the four pillars that we have for the Umrah. And then lastly, what are the wajibat of the Hajj? So we've looked at the pillars of the Hajj, the arkan. What are the wajibat? The author says, وواجبات الحج غير الأركان ثلاثة: الإحرام من الميقات ورمي الجمار الثلاث والحلق. The author says there are three actions which are wajib. Now the author says you enter the state of ihram from the miqat. Now here's a difference. The author indicates that to have ihram with niyyah is a rukun, right? But what is wajib is from the miqat. So let's say for some reason you missed it from the miqat for a particular reason, whatever it might be. There might be a means of kafara. There might be a way of, making up for that transgression, because it is a transgression. But if you didn't have ihram with niyyah, then there is, of course, you don't have an umrah or a hajj. So the author says you must enter the ihram from the proper place. And let me just, on this point, my beloved brothers and sisters, if you are intending umrah or hajj, please go and study umrah and hajj. Don't wing it, that I'm just going to get on the plane and do what others are doing. Because what could happen is you make a mistake. That, many people, for example, a very common misconception is that Jeddah is a miqat for the people of South Africa. That is a major misconception in fiqh. Many people understand that I will land in Jeddah and put my ihram on there. Jeddah is not the miqat for the people of South Africa. The miqat for the people of South Africa is Ya Lamlam, which when you are flying on the plane, you cross in the air. Meaning that for a South African Hajj or Mu'tamir, you have to adopt your ihram before you cross. That is why the airlines will announce that we are about to cross the miqat. They are doing that for a reason, to alert the Hujjaj and Mu'tamirin that if you are heading to Mecca for Umrah, then you need to enter into the state of ihram and make your niyyah before you cross Ya Lamlam. In fact, you can watch those beautiful screens, and they have the boundary drawn on the screens, and you can see the plane is about to go over the miqat. So, very important point, study the Umrah and Hajj before you go, so that you fulfill the fiqh accordingly. The second wajibat of the wajibat is the pelting of the jamarat, the pelting of the jimar. To pelt the pillars with stones is the second action that is wajib. And the third, now this is in the book, the author says, wal halq, the shaving of the head. But as I've mentioned earlier, the ulama have written that actually the shaving or the trimming is on a level higher than wajibat. They feel it should be of the arkan. So to summarize, inshallah, the four arkan of hajj is ihram with niyyah, wuquf on Arafah, standing on Arafah, tawaf, and sa'i. And let's add in, of course, the fifth one over there, maybe inshallah, the shaving or the trimming of the hair. The arkan of the umrah are four: ihram with niyyah, tawaf of the Kaaba, sa'i, walking between Safa and Marwa, and the shaving of the head once you have completed. And then the wajibat of the hajj: ihram from the miqat, pelting, and shaving. So let me quickly just give you a good scenario here, which happens to many hujjaj, mu'tamirin. That's why you have to be knowledgeable of your fiqh, because you might not be able to reach the sheikh or the maulana, in that moment. So sometimes the men go to the miqat of Medina, which is Dhul Hulayfa or Bi'ru Ali. They go to that miqat and they physically put on the attire, right? They put on the towels, and perhaps they, put on they have the ihram on and they recite the niyyah. They put on the towels and they recite the niyyah. So they have the rukun is fulfilled. They have ihram with niyyah. Now they left the miqat. They on their way. They've left Dhul Hulayfa. 30 kilometers out of Medina, and here the man feel, hey, I'm still wearing my underpants. Oh, ya Allah, what do I do? Because you can't ask the bus to go back. Right? So what have you invalidated in that instance? You have not fulfilled the ihram from the miqat. But you're in a state of ihram, are you not? Because you've made the niyyah. So when you made the niyyah, you entered into the state of ihram, so you fulfilled the arkan of that umrah or hajj. But you have now invalidated of the wajibat, and that was to have the ihram from the miqat. And so there's a way, of course, you pay a dam. You'd slaughter a sheep because you kept on your underpants. Of course, you take off the underpants, when no one is watching. But you then you have to pay the dam, inshallah. So this is an important aspect, and it's a reminder that you must learn the fiqh, because in that moment you don't want to panic. You want to know, okay, I've made this mistake. How do I fix it now? Because you are performing umrah or hajj. So my dear brothers and sisters, that is what we share this evening. May Allah permit us to perform the umrah and hajj. May Allah accept our umrah and hajj. May Allah accept the hajj from our hujjaj. Wa sallallahu wa sallam alayhi walhamdulillahi rabbil